Hello, my Zentangle friends. This is Barbara Langston, CZT. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher, and welcome to another session of Not Perfect Zen. I hope you're doing well. I have had an interesting weekend because I want to share a new idea with you. I know that I have a lot of people that are new to Zentangle, and I remember when I was new, I was kind of worried about how to start a tile, how to just pick up a tile and put tangles on it. Before I forget, here's my contact information. And if you want to send your tiles to me rather than post on social media, please do. I have several people that prefer to do it that way. If you do post on social media, please use @BBL_Tangles in your post, and that way I get notified that you have posted something, and I love to see what you've done. Now, I'm going to insert a picture that shows a prompt that my friend Cindy Kelly Jones shares on her Facebook page. It's called Today's Tangles, Keeping It Classic. And she gives a string and different patterns that you can use, different tangles. And these are all only Zentangle patterns that she shows. And it gets you started, okay? And she allowed me to show that picture. And what I plan to do is something very similar, okay? So here's my idea. I took some of the tiles, the bijou size tiles that I had for the 102 tangles of Zentangle, and I copied and printed them, and then I found just a random string to use, okay? And I do want to show you that in tanglepatterns.com, they have, or Linda Farmer has 250 strings, okay? And in my little notebook where I keep my patterns, I've started a page with just ideas for strings, okay? So if you go to tanglepatterns.com, up in the menu where she has A through Z, there's one that says strings, okay? And the ones that have numbers, like here, are from the tanglepatterns.com. Okay, so I know that when you're new and you're trying to figure out how to relax and just enjoy Zentangle, sometimes you don't know where to start. So I'm going to post this on my community page, and I'll put a link down below in the description where you click on ... more. I'll have a link to my community page, but you can also just go to my home page of my YouTube channel and click on community tab, and you'll see my posts. Okay, so I've only picked 8 patterns, and all of these are published patterns from the 102 Tangles of Zentangle series that I did, okay? And part of this for me is, again, thinking about the elegance of limits with Zentangle, which simply means, and I'm going to move these out of the way, that we start with a small canvas, okay, and a black pen to draw on our white canvas, a graphite pencil, and a tortillon, also known as a blending tool. And when you start with these and a simple string and some patterns, then it's easy to relax and create a tile, okay? So we're going to go through those steps today. And I hope you enjoy this. I really want to know what you think about this. And hopefully you'll enjoy it. Hopefully you'll find it helpful. Okay, so we're going to start with gratitude. I'm grateful to Sandy Kelly Jones for allowing me to share her idea. And I'm grateful for Zentangle in my life and that I'm able to share it with you. We're going to start with our 4 corner dots. Okay, and then connect them. We're not worried about our lines being perfectly straight. Okay, and now we're going to add this string. And when you add your string, just keep it light. And remember, it's just a suggestion. You don't have to fully stay within the lines. Okay, so we have a line, and then we're just going to do a curve coming around this way. Okay, I'll do it a little bit darker. I'm not sure if you're able to see it. Okay, so there's our string. And then, which one to start with? So we have Pokeroot, Rain, Vega, Crescent Moon, Tipple, Hollibaugh, Tortuca, and Florz. And I will put an image up that shows all of these as we decide. Let me get these out of the way. And Rain is one of my favorite patterns, so I think I'm going to put Rain across here. Okay, so I'm using my Micron 01. And again, normally you wouldn't have a dark line, but it's okay on this so that I can show you. And Rain is simply just zigzags. And you can see that I'm already going over this string. Again, strings are just suggestions. And it's a way to divide your tile so that you can add your patterns. Okay? And then I'm going to actually switch to my Micron PN. And the next step that we do on Rain is to fill it in. And when you're doing this, take your time and just enjoy filling in your area. I think my pen is running out of ink. I keep saying that. I bought new pens, and then I think I picked up one that's not doing so well. I don't speed up my video, so if this is going too slow for you, you can speed it up. Or if I'm going too fast, you can slow it down. Okay, I am actually, since that one's giving me trouble, going to switch to my graphic one. So these are my 3 favorite pens. A graphic one, a PN, which is plastic nib, and a Micron 01, which is a finer tip. But when I'm filling something in like that, normally the PN would be fine, but again, mine's not doing so well. turn your tile to keep your hand comfortable. This week, Project Pack 24 started. I don't know if any of you are watching that. As Zentangle celebrates the 20 years that they've been teaching, they're going back to some of the basic patterns. And the first one I watched this week was all about Crescent Moon and auras. So we're going to add some auras on this rain pattern. I think I'm going to call this my Not Perfect prompt, and this will be the very first one. Again, I hope this is helpful if you're new to Zentangle. Okay, so with rain, the next thing that we do is aura it. I got new glasses on order this week, so I should be doing better. They haven't come in yet. At least I can use that as an excuse, right? So an aura simply means that we are adding a line that mimics, I guess, is that a good word for it? The line next to it. And we keep it an equal distance apart as we go around. Maria is known to say, when in doubt, aura. And as you're adding auras, you come up with other ideas for what to do next. Okay, and so we've gone past that border, and that's just fine. Our border and our string are suggestions. And you can see that mine are not perfectly equal distance. But the most important thing about Zentangle is being mindful of one line at a time. We're not going to worry about the outcome. That's what I think is nice about this idea that I borrowed from today's Tangles, Keeping It Classic. There was also Square One was one of the Facebook groups that's no longer active, and it was only 3.5-inch tiles, white with black ink, and I really enjoy that classic version of Zentangle. Okay, so there's our first pattern. I am going to get my graphic one and finish filling these in real quick. Since my PN was not cooperating with me. Okay, that's better. And for our second pattern, and I will put the screenshot of all the patterns up there again. I think I'll pick Tortuca and put it here in this corner. So again, using my Micron 01 this time. I'm going to go ahead and start a grid. Okay. And Tortuga is kind of like putting printemps inside of squares. So let's make a square grid. And just take your time. No mistakes as far as making your grid. I'm going to turn my tile. And we can't see that part. Let's go ahead and come this way. I went inside my aura. That's okay, no mistakes. Just take nice deep breaths, relax, and enjoy what you're doing. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that section there. And then we're going to go inside each of those. And I'm going to start at one side, kind of make an orb that touches, and then come back around. Spiral in, and put a tip on it. Very simple. I'm not worried if they match. I used to really enjoy when the prompts for today's Tangles Keeping It Classic came out. I always wake up early, so I would wake up, check out the prompt, and try to do my tile before looking at anybody else's tile that they would submit to that Facebook group, because I wanted to come up with my own tile and not copy somebody else. So you can do the same thing with this. Just look at the patterns, look at your string, and just pick a section to put a pattern in there. If you don't like one of the patterns that I've selected, that's fine. You can pick something different or pick your own pattern from your favorites. But I'm just hoping to get you started, okay? Don't worry about the end result. With the elegance of limits with Zentangle, like I said, we have a small canvas. And if you don't have a tile, use any paper that you have. Just draw a small square to start with. But we have a small canvas. We have a limited number of patterns that we're using. Okay, like I said, I'm not going to worry about that one. And the nice thing about Zentangle is it's not representational. In other words, we're not trying to draw a horse or a tree. I've tried it. It doesn't work for me. So, just saying. So, the next pattern that I think I'll use is Hollibaugh. Okay, Hollibaugh also uses auras because we're drawing a line, and then if you put a line inside, that's auras, but each one of these is an aura. And I think I'm going to follow this string line to begin with, just to make it interesting. And then I'm going to aura that. Again, taking your time, turn your tile if you need to. Hollibaugh doesn't have to be just straight lines. And then let's just come out different directions. I like to make mine wavy. I don't know. Yep, went a little bit too fast. So let's just do it again. Act as if I meant for that to happen. We'll do better on this one. Under. No mistakes. You can make your lines different sizes. Okay. Focus. Going under. Have one come this way. Just fill in as many of these as you want. Your tile does not need to look exactly like mine. I'm just giving you ideas. And just like with this, don't worry about an oops. And you can make your lines straight. Or you can fill this section with another pattern. This is your art. Okay. I think I'll let that be. And one thing you can do in a situation like this, and I think I have a white pen here, a white jelly roll. Just an idea. So make sure this one's working. Is you can just go over that. With a white pen. And it kind of disappears. That's the nice thing about using black on white. Sometimes you can kind of correct your oops. Okay, so let's see our options again. And I think next I'm going to use Pokeroot. And I'm going to put that in here. Oops. Not sure what happened there. I may have put my hand into wet ink. So with Pokeroot, we're just going to draw a stem, the top of that stem, and basically put kind of a circle around it. Okay. And let's have one come out this way, and then you won't see that little mark I had. Going behind. You can make these as large or as small as you would like. Okay. Just take your time. Have these come out in different directions. Could come from this way. What I want to emphasize is we're not worried about this being a perfect piece of art, okay? We're just drawing patterns. And when we add shading, it'll make a big difference. Okay. Okay. We could stick a little one in here. All right. So what do you think so far? One of the things that Sandy Kelly-Jones does is she always includes Tipple or perfs. And I think I'm going to put some perfs or Tipple inside some of these. You could put a different pattern inside. You could put Crescent Moon in there. Again, what I'm showing you is just suggested patterns. If you have another pattern that you really like to draw that's not in my list, it may not even be one of the 102 tangles. That just happens to be what I'm starting with because I have the bijou tiles ready to use. And you can go into my playlist for 102 tangles of Zentangle if you're not sure how to draw these patterns, and you can learn how to draw them. Okay, just kind of jump around here and there. I'm not going to fill them all in. Just focus on one line at a time. Okay, how about put some in here. And again, you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. But please leave comments. Let me know what you think about this idea. You know, I don't have to always show you a tile. I could just leave some prompts, but I would like to do this regularly, not necessarily every certain day of the week, but share these ideas with you. Okay, let's put some over here. I don't make perfect circles. I don't make perfect tiles. Okay. What do you think? Okay, let's just go with that and start adding our shading, and that'll really make a difference. Okay? So I think I'm going to start over here with Tortuga and this little section. And I'm just going to add graphite inside my border. And I didn't mention this before, but if you wanted to, you could, ink in your border over here. I'm going to leave mine open for now. Let's just see how that turns out. So on the inside of this, turn my tile, I'm going to add graphite along my pattern of rain. And this will make it look like this is uppermost. And since it's got the drama, that's going to work out fine. Let's do the same thing on this side. I sharpened my pencil, and that helps to make a better point. You should point your pencil toward the line that you're trying to shade, and that will make it darkest right next to that. And take your time with the shading, just like with your drawing of each tangle. Enjoy this as much as you enjoy drawing. I used to hesitate as far as adding shading when I first started, and now I love it. Okay, so let's go ahead and soften these. And I'm pointing my tortillon toward that line. If you're new to my channel, I have this paper clip in here so that my tip doesn't get too blunt, because I'm a little harsh on them, a little strong-handed sometimes. And just soften it all the way around. Oop. Probably got enough. Oh, I did miss this section. Well, I missed several of them. And some of my graphite went inside the line, not a problem. Remember, it's not a contest and we're not being graded. Just enjoy your art. Okay, so now I'm going to soften this. And I think I'll add a little bit of shading between each one of these. I do have a video on shading, but I do basically the same thing on every tile, just very basic shading. Okay, so now we're going to soften that. Okay, that helped us to separate each one of these little Tortuca. Okay, now let's add our shading on Hollibaugh, where one line goes over another. We're going to add just a little bit of graphite there. Okay, and I'm just going to add graphite along this border and here. And where I have Tipple inside, I'm going to add a little bit of graphite there too. Don't need much in these little sections. Okay, so now let's soften those. You can still see a little bit of the string line. It's okay. I'll go ahead and go across. Remember to breathe. Relax your shoulders. Keep your hand relaxed. We're just softening these lines. Okay. And then we're going to put graphite where the stem goes underneath each of these little poke roots. Okay. And we're going to soften that. Yep. I still have graphite on my blending stump, so I can just go ahead and add where I forgot. Okay, and then for Pokeroot, I want to, so we have the little, like this, and I can add a little line like that, but when I soften it, sometimes it kind of leaves a harsh line. So what I like to do is just put a little bit of graphite down on a scrap piece of paper and then get some on my blending tool and then very softly add a little bit of shading on the top of each one of these. Okay, Go back, get a little bit more. Remember to turn your tile. Okay. What do you think? Could go back if you felt like you needed more in here. You could add more tipple, fill it in, put little pokeroots or anything that you would like. Again, this is your art. Make it the way that you want it. I'm giving you ideas, but make it your way. Make it your art. All right, I'm going to add my chop. Okay, on the back of your tile, add, this is going to be our Not Perfect Prompt 01, our first one. And we used Tortuca, Rain, Tipple, Hollibaugh, and Pokeroot. Did I miss any? There we go. Simple tile. And you can turn it in any direction and it doesn't matter because we're not trying to make anything representational. Okay? All right. Thank you again for joining me. I hope you liked this. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. And if you did like it, please hit the like button, subscribe, share, and leave comments because that helps my channel to grow. It helps other people to find this channel. All right. Thanks again. See you next time, my friends. Bye.